Hello everybody, this is Carrie from Paper Adventures, back for another quick video where I will be making some ephemera pieces. And what I'm doing, these past weeks, I am just trying to get one idea in my head, and whatever that is, I'm making several of whatever that happens to be. Last week, I made what I was calling like the DIY torn envelope or torn mail pieces that just reminded me of, I don't know, mail. Well, I'm not going to get into that, but you can go back and watch that video. But this one, what I did was I took pieces of book pages. I cut them down into about the same size squares, and I'm just adding stuff to it. One of the things that I will be using, you'll see, is my tissue paper, my DIY tissue paper that I had done a couple of videos ago. Now, if we think about it, it's the same effect as if I was to just use my stamp and stamp the page, ink stamp. But one thing I realized while I was doing this video is it is so convenient to have stamped tissue paper because, for one, I don't have to get out my stamps, look through them, try to find which ones I'm going to use, and then stamp. With the tissue paper, everything's already there. I just tear it out, glue it down. And I realized that saves time. Made it easier. And I also like the effect it has on the words of the book page itself. Since it's a white tissue paper, it kind of lightens the words, so it looks like they're faded. So it does help to give it even a more aged look, At least that's my thought. But all I'm doing, I'm adding the tissue paper, the stamped tissue paper. I'm adding some stickers. I'm inking them. I'm adding some other pieces to this, just really quick. And this is so easy to do and will look great in a junk journal. So that's what I'm doing for this one. And I mentioned this in a couple of videos ago, I believe. After I make all of these things, I am going to then see if I can add all of the things that I've made onto one base piece. Whether that's an envelope or, I don't know, a cardstock piece or whatever. I'm just going to see if I can incorporate each one of those things onto one piece. I don't know, I might not can do it, but we'll see. Another thing you'll see that I am using is what I call labels, and they are what is in the little gray container. I have a video where I just make a bunch of those, and I also use my stamping, ink pad stamping, whatever you want to call that, where I just stamp a bunch of strips of paper, spray it with inks and things like that, age it with my ink pad. I don't really know what else I'm trying to do make where you know which ones I'm talking about, and then I cut them out, and so they're just easy there for me to grab, and then you'll see that I just staple them onto these pieces. But anyways, that's a long explanation, but I hope that you will enjoy this video and that you'll be motivated to do this. This really, maybe this took 30 minutes, maybe, I don't know, but not long anyways. But anyways, thanks for joining me, and let's go ahead and continue on with the video.